The craziest meals ever eaten on my 600-pound life.
My 600-pound life eats some of the craziest meals ever seen on TV, and in this video we're going to break down the most insane, looking at the calories, cost and more, starting with James B, the man who is addicted to getting food deliveries. James's story...
I thought a lot of people on my 600-pound life got food delivered. Because unless they have somebody, usually on these shows, they're so overweight that they can't walk, and they get food delivered unless they have a caretaker that could get it delivered for them. Do a calorie challenge. I'm going to genuinely predict that this first meal I could not eat in a day. His one meal, I don't think the majority of us would be able to eat in one day. Not like this is he's probably scaling, so it's probably starting like number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And he weighs in at a staggering 625 pounds, which won't come as a surprise when you see what he...
That's lower on the scale for most my 600-pound life. Because it's usually, my 600-pound life isn't usually my 600-pound life. It's like 600 and above, generally. Is there another show that's more than that? Because I feel like we've seen shows where they're like 860, like 900. I think they usually do 600 pounds because that's like kind of like a biological limitation for most people. Like your body structure doesn't usually support more 1,000-pound sisters, but I think they were each 500 pounds.
I get excited. It's like the Super Bowl. You can get whatever you want now. You understand?
He lists off his massive order of food, which is just an insane amount for an entire family, let alone one man. Some of these items have been removed from the IHOP menu, so we'll be going with the closest item currently on their menu.
All right, can I get the 2 slices of Steakhouse Premium Pancake? Can I get the Game Day Family Feast? Can I get the original French toast?
His first order of Steakhouse Premium Pancakes consists of 2 pancakes with smoked bacon pieces and caramel sauce.
Bro, that kind of sounds gross. Like eating the bacon bits are in the pancakes. That's good. I really don't think it is. I like caramel on pancakes. I'm fine with the drizzle. I'm fine with even bacon on the side, but inside the pancakes.
And he orders 2 of these.
2? That's already more than, I would say 90% of my chat eats in a day. That's 3,200 calories.
He then adds a Game Day Family Feast, which consists of 8 pancakes, 8 bacon strips.
What? He's gonna eat 2 separate pancake meals. And then 8 more pancakes on top of that? Dude, how does your stomach have enough room?
4 servings of scrambled eggs, hash browns, and 8 sausage links. And he isn't done yet. He orders some original French toast and finally 2 slices of ham. In total, this mammoth breakfast comes to $84 and around 7,500 calories. And he hasn't even brushed it.
I could not eat that in a day. I think that alone would be like the challenge. Like I have a day to eat what he eats for breakfast.
His teeth yet. It seems hard to believe that it totals this many calories, but seeing the
Bro, that's really how people get this obese. Like, cause this is one meal. I have always said the more you weigh, the harder it is to maintain that weight. Like if you eat, say you weigh 180 pounds and you eat 3,000 calories, you're gonna gain weight. But if you weigh 600 pounds and you eat 3,000 calories, you're probably going to lose weight.
Amount of food on the table in front of him shows the reality of the situation. The most shocking part about this is that he actually finishes every single item he orders and still wants more.
So, when breakfast is over, then...
Bro, and I just want to say, on ignoring the rest of everything, drinking 2 full Minute Maid apple juices is horrible for you. That alone is already like 80 to 90 grams of sugar in just one. And it doesn't matter if it's natural sugars. You're just drinking apple juice. It's just all the worst of it in there. And no, it's fruit. Bro, no, that's actually a common misconception. I need you to know that. If you're drinking full pulp orange juice, that's not that bad for you. But if you're drinking like Minute Maid orange juice or apple juice, it's basically the same thing as soda. Yes, it's added sugar versus natural sugar, but everything that's good in the fruit is not in the juice. But that's why when you drink pulp, it has the the fiber and all the other shit in it because it's thick and it's basically just like grinded up oranges. But if you're just juicing fruits, you're eating the worst of it.
Get full, but it's temporary. Then I'm already back on the phone, looking on what I'm gonna get for lunch.
See, bro, what is this camera angle? They're literally saying, like, how do we make him seem as fat as possible? That's literally what they're going, like, yeah, sorry, we need to set this up. Yeah, let me just get an old junk shot right here.
Now, obviously James needs to change his eating habits quickly if he wants to lose weight. In my newsletter, The Fat Loss Kitchen could be the key for him and anyone else looking to lose weight while
Is this an ad? Oh.
not eating boring meals. Every single Friday, I will send you a recipe for one of who appears in the same season, shocked viewers with the sheer amount of eggs she uses every single day. Dolly Martinez is someone my subscribers already know all about, as I've just released a video calling her the most immature patient ever on the show, and for good reason, after she moved into a drug den to avoid Dr. Now. But her
What? Moved into a drug den?
she lives with her best friend Cheyenne, who, to be honest, could
What upsets me is, like, I think TLC sometimes looks for really obese people that clearly don't want help. And, like, I don't know. A lot of the time there are really good transformations, but I feel like half of the people they get are like, no, it's just a thyroid issue.
also be a star on the show, and this means that they both indulge each other's bad habits. So when Dolly asks for 15 eggs for breakfast, Cheyenne
15 eggs for breakfast? Bro, wouldn't that start tasting like shit? What's the most eggs you've had in a sitting? I've had like 4. And around the 4th egg, you're like, starting to taste like mush. Maybe 6. I think I've maybe had 6 eggs one time. That's a lot of cholesterol. And it's not bad necessarily, but it's like, you know, you shouldn't be eating that many eggs.
didn't bat an eyelid. Obviously, egg prices are insane at the moment in America, with a dozen eggs costing around $5.50. So, on average, the amount of eggs alone probably cost her $7. To make matters worse, a single
Okay, yeah, egg prices are very high today, but it's like eggs are still a lot cheaper than like most other food commodities.
egg has around 70 calories in, and not even taking into account the oil she used for cooking, this is around 1,100 calories worth of egg. And
Bro, she's making 1 omelet out of scrambled eggs. That is appalling. That, like, dude, it's just gonna be like a cake block of mush.
doesn't stop there, adding as much cheese as she could physically hold into her eggs. Obviously, there's no exact number here as she just gets a fistful, but let's be generous and say that that's 500 grams of cheddar cheese, which would be yet another
No, that was like 10 slices. She did a fistful of cheese.
2,000 calories, bringing breakfast to 3,100 calories. It should come at no surprise then that when she's finally weighed, the scales show a staggering number.
Step down. We're gonna be going to room 5.
How did that happen? It's actually a lot.
And you got to keep in mind too, like, height. Like, when there's some tall people on this show that are 600 pounds, but they're like 6'3", that's different from, like, she's probably like 5'5". Like, if you're like 5'5" and 5'90", that's like way worse than being like 6 foot 630.
A lot more than I thought I was going to see. There's no way I gained that much. So that makes no sense. That's impossible unless my scale at home must be wrong.
Somehow Dolly thinks that her diet couldn't have brought her to that weight, and Dr. Now was quick to explain how dangerous her situation had become.
Alright, so you are 593 pounds. And
Bro, Dr. Now, like, he's likable and hateable at the same time. Because he'll walk in there and be like, okay, well, you're really fat. You're like 600 pounds. You need to lose weight. And then it's like, he doesn't even seem like a doctor sometimes. Like, he'll just say such, like, obvious surface level shit. Where it's just like, yeah, you're obese. Like, and then he'll be like, you need to lose weight. Thanks, doctor, now.
you 5'2".
Yes, sir.
So your
She's
BMI
5'2".
is 108. So that's a very high BMI. And your body is under a lot of strain because of that.
And just like Dolly, Maya's body was under a lot of strain too, caused by her addiction to fast food drive-thrus. Maya appeared in season 7 of the show and started her episode weighing over 600 pounds, and it's not hard to see how she got there. Because she's so large, despite being able to walk around and bathe herself, her boyfriend Christian needs to do pretty much everything else for her. This makes her attitude even more frustrating, as she lies to her boyfriend about where she goes during the day.
He doesn't know when I go to get food because I get dressed to go out and I tell him it's for errands.
He knows. He knows you're lying to him. This is so similar to like a family member with alcoholism. Like that's why I always say food addiction so like drugs. Like, yeah, no, he doesn't know. No, they know. No, they know. Like, it's obvious. It's usually very obvious when you're addicted to something. And you, it doesn't matter if you're like, yeah, I'm just going out for errands. No, you're doing crack, or you're going to drink a fifth of whiskey and you come back hammered. It doesn't matter if you use mouthwash or something. Similar in the same manner, it's like this, where she's like, yeah, he sees that she's eating 2,000 calories with him, but she's fucking 700 pounds. Like, that's not possible unless she's lying to him.
But it's a lie, because the only thing I'm going
How much do you eat? I don't know in a given day. If I had to guess, probably 2,800 to 3,200 calories.
to do is eat.
Maya lies to her boyfriend so she doesn't feel judged and embarrassed about going to multiple drive-thrus. This may sound obvious, but I think it's quite clear that Christian knows she goes to the drive-thrus and just wants to keep the peace. In the car to the drive-thrus, Maya admits that sometimes she will go to 4 places in a row, which is more than most people will go to in an entire month, let alone in a single morning. Her first stop is McDonald's, and her order is mammoth to say the least.
Can I get 2 sausage burritos, a bacon, egg, and cheese?
How does she safely drive? Because if she needed to quickly turn the wheel, she wouldn't be able to.
A bacon, egg, and cheese, and a sausage muffin with egg.
So with her order of 2 sausage burritos, a bacon, egg and cheese, and a sausage and egg muffin, this brings her calories to start her morning to around 1,200 and costs around $15. But this wasn't enough, and Maya isn't full yet.
There's no words for that feeling when you taste something you love. It's incredible, but it feels like that meal is gone in a second.
I've never heard somebody glaze a fucking sausage, egg, and cheese from McDonald's so hard.
So I move on to the next things I'm craving.
Next, she pulls up to the Arby's drive-thru and puts through another massive order.
Can I get a beef and cheddar sandwich? Jalapeno.
Wow. I like going to eating a full breakfast, full meal at McDonald's and going, you know what, I'm gonna go get an Arby's beef and cheddar.
Your roast beef slider and your ultimate BLT sandwich.
With the beef and cheddar sandwich,
Oh, dude, who eats that? Outside of her, who eats that? I've never, like, that just you know how, like, fast food images are supposed to look, like, immaculate and just, like, mouth-watering, and then in person they look bad? This is, like, somebody got paid to make this look presentable, and it still looks gross. So it only is worse in person.
Jalapeno roast beef slider and an ultimate BLT sandwich, which by far has the most
That looks bad. That doesn't look that bad.
calories of any of her meals this morning. All confirmed, she digs in yet again. She decides to enter a spree of drive-thrus here and finishes her morning having eaten 2,679 calories and having spent $31, which is probably enough to feed 2 or 3 people. I'm going to make a full video on Maya, as her addiction to food was so strong and her relationship with her family was made extremely difficult because of that. So make sure you listen to Dr. Now and subscribe to my channel.
I encourage everybody to
The cameo. Oh my god. Paid him. Does he have a diamond studded? What's on that? That's like bedazzled.
subscribe to the Greg's YouTube channel and enjoy the videos.
Now, although Maya hid her food addiction, Bethany was much more brazen about hers, as she has her children bring her a ridiculous amount of fast food to binge on. Bethany's episode starts with her saying she hates her life and she's in constant misery. At 40 years old and over 600 pounds, she needs her 10-year-old daughter to help her get ready for the day. She has another 18-year-old daughter that does cook for her, and she does start by cooking her mother a breakfast of 3 eggs and some toast. This is just a normal breakfast and obviously isn't too crazy. However, Bethany gets hungry during the making of this breakfast, so has a muffin and a bun and a packet of what looks like crackers before she has her breakfast. This is pretty tame as far as 600-pound life breakfasts go though, and the real shocking meal comes later into her episode as she orders a pizza feast all for herself. When her daughters are
I just think they don't realize, like, it's so sad for the kids to watch this, where, like, you're witnessing your mom go down, like, basically a rabbit hole of, like, addiction, basically. Like, her kid's watching her get more and more overweight. Like, and it's not like, oh, you gained a few pounds. It's like she can't put her socks on.
arrive home from school, they order a meal consisting of 2 pizzas and a massive box of multiple slices of garlic bread. I try to find the specific restaurant, but not being from America and my knowledge of the fast food chains over there being limited, we have to make some assumptions here. So it looks like 2 large mushroom and pepper pizzas, which would have around 3,000 to 4,000 calories in total. But what really takes the cake is the massive box of cheesy garlic bread she orders for basically all herself.
That's when food became this thing in life.
Bro, that is a whole fucking, that's like a whole frozen box of Texas toast. That is so much. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces of Texas toast.
Like it is now, where I have to have it.
At my count, there's 15 slices there.
I think I could eat that, though. I love garlic bread. Oh, I think I could eat. No, I think I'd get around 5 in, and I'd just be like, I feel like shit.
Life like it is now, where I have to have it.
At my count, there's 15 slices there, and at minimum 350 calories per slice, that totals up to 5,250 calories just on garlic bread. She does give a couple of slices of pizza and a slice of garlic bread to her daughters, but...
And it's just straight carbs. Like, it's literally just straight carbs.
Not too much, and it looks like it's safe to assume that she ate no less than 8,000 calories in this one meal. She does leave the crusts though, so maybe she saves some.
Do you think they pay them? I wonder how they get money for this. They have to be paying them.
To help me escape it was food, so I was just eating my way through life at that time and gaining. So I put on another 100 pounds after that and got up to the 400s by the time I was 15.
Now, like Maya,
she was 400 pounds at 15.
Before Bethany, Karina also tries to hide her food habit, but in a very different way. Featuring in season 6 of the show, and much like the other stars, her first thought every morning is that she survived the night. Her following thought...
I mean, that's me too. Every time I wake up at like... I'll wake up and like take a piss in the middle of the night. I fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie, I was so tired and I didn't want to walk to the light switch that I fell asleep with the lights on, and I set an alarm for an hour to wake up to go turn it off. Woke up like 8 hours later. I was like, oh, it's the next day. I'm not dead. I literally was like, I didn't die in my sleep. Because I didn't have dreams that night, and I was like, oh, that was like basically being dead. Like, it was just, there was nothing. I just didn't exist for 8 hours, and now I teleported.
Is wondering what she's going to have for breakfast, which is the sad reality of living with a deep food addiction. She lives with her parents, and the only time she leaves the house is to the grocery store with them, while being carried in the back of their people carrier. But she only does this so she knows her parents are going to buy what she wants from the store.
My parents have to drive me, and I sit in the back of the van on the floor. So
I don't know if the government could ever implement something like this, because it would be like kind of fucked up, but there should be like a rule in grocery stores where if like somebody's coming in that's like this overweight and they're like actively trying to buy like 2 liters of soda and Oreos and like cheesecake and other shit, like you just don't sell it to them.
They literally had to fold the seats in the van down, put a blanket on the floor.
As she's wheeled around the store, her parents do not question anything she wants. Ice cream, chips, cakes, and more, with nothing being off limits. Even though her parents don't question her meals and know she...
Like, that's fucking crazy. That's what you're getting for like a party of people.
Eats a massive amount of food, she still attempts to hide her addiction. When her parents leave for the evening and go to dinner, Karina allows herself to order even more food.
I have 2 medium pizzas with pepperoni and sausage, 1 order of cheese sticks, 24 honey chipotle wings, and the double chocolate chip brownie.
Delivery or carry out?
This will be for delivery. Thank you.
When the food arrives and is laid out on the bed, Karina rubs her hands together as she looks at the mountain of food in front of her. Starting with the medium pizzas, they probably have at minimum 2,500 calories in them each. And I'm not sure what restaurant she got them from, but if we go off the Papa John's menu, those 24 wings will have another 2,500.
44 grams. That's the worst of it. 44 grams of saturated fat. Oh my God, they're going to have a heart attack in 3 years.
Calories in them, the majority of the calories coming from the sauce they are in. She tops the meal off with a brownie, with one square having 250 calories, so another 2,250 calories there, and a garlic bread.
Oh my God, and the sodium, dude. Ugh, just be like licking a salt block, eating 3 fucking pizzas.
Which is at minimum 1,000 calories.
Chug a gallon of water after that.
So in this absolute feast, she will devour around 8,250 calories, which explains how her weight has ballooned to this size, and has now meant that her bed needs to be
How do they Bro, her bed is held up by cinder blocks.
held up with cinder blocks.
Oh my God. That's nuts that a regular bed frame doesn't hold her. Because like a regular bed frame could hold like 4 people.
Feel warm and good inside, if only for a short while. But I'm afraid that one day I'm just gonna need too much. I'm probably gonna die from a heart attack, or I'm gonna suffocate. But I can't stop myself.
This somehow wasn't as big as the next patient's meal though, which actually was so large it made headlines in the news. In season 11 of the show, we met Chris, whose legs are so fat that they push against each other, meaning he can barely stand up. Despite this, he can
I mean, he looks the most healthy out of any of the people we've seen.
take care of himself and do most daily tasks, which includes making his own breakfast.
Like, that's the first vegetables I've seen in this video.
My weight makes it challenging to cook the kind of breakfast that I want. Because of the weight and the fat in between my legs, I can't stand up straight, so they're constantly pushing apart, which makes it really uncomfortable to stand in the kitchen for a long period of time, so I actually have to sit on a cooler that I sit on when I cook.
This is the scene which made headlines and led to comments such as, "This is my food for an entire week," and honestly, it isn't an exaggeration. Now, it's pretty impossible to track the calories of this meal, as he just has a pan full of bacon, another massive pan full of
And bro,
scrambled
he's
eggs.
out of breath sitting still. Like, that's a fucking telltale sign you need to get help.
Sausages in the oven, and of course cheese to melt on top. Chris puts all of these ingredients into a breakfast burrito, of which he makes 12. 12 whole breakfast burritos smothered in sauce.
I make the meal with my stomach, not with my brain, so I have a really big meal, and when I start eating, as soon as I hit that first bite, I eat it all. I call it going red. I can't stop.
He doesn't even take these burritos to a table, and
I do think there is like a genetic factor with that, but it also is highly influenced by just habit.
prefers to eat them at the kitchen bench to allow him to devour them quicker. Although Chris didn't eat a healthy meal, at least he made an effort to cook his food, which can't be said about Holly, who decided on the day before her weigh-in at the doctor's office, she would order a greasy Chinese meal. Now, there's not really an insane amount of food here. Well, maybe it is for the average person.
Dude, I feel like you'd get food poisoning from that.
Greasy Chinese meal. Now, there's not really an insane amount of food here. Well, maybe it is for the average person. But the real craziness comes from the timing of her decision to get this Chinese food, which is obviously extremely high in fat, oil, and salt.
Since we just moved in, we're not really set up to cook. So we're ordering delivery from places around here a lot until we can get some pots and pans and stuff to cook with.
Until we get some pots and pans. You ever heard of Amazon? It fucking takes a day, 2 days, 3 days tops. Unless you live in the middle of fucking nowhere. You order some shit online, it fucking shows up. What do you mean? Oh, well, we just moved in 4 weeks ago, so it's taken us a while to get some pots and pans. What are you fucking ordering them from Temu?
But Ray said he's gonna look for a job tomorrow, and he'll get all that while he's out, and we can start prepping healthy meals.
Holly uses the excuse that she's
You could order healthier food out.
just moved into her home and she can't afford pots and pans. But looking at the size of her Chinese order, surely that could have been swapped for something healthy and bought some pans to cook with. So she has a massive Chinese meal on the night, knowing full well in the morning she's going for her weigh-in with the doctor, in which she has a goal to lose 50 pounds, and that goes about as well as you're expecting.
I mean, she still lost weight.
I'm really upset, and I don't understand why my progress isn't that good. So I'm shocked and confused and nervous to hear what Dr. Now is going to say.
She doesn't lose as much weight as Dr. Now was expecting, which caused him to question why she values food.
That was a good video. 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 fries, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pastas, 55 peppers, and 155 taters. 15 eggs? Bro, when did you decide a dozen wasn't enough? Yeah, where's the 3 added on to that? Is that like everything has to be in 5s? Why 15 eggs? Because then the way that you're consuming them is in like an odd number. Like, that's OCD. I don't know, because I mean you're buying them in 12s or 24s. Like that's how you buy. Maybe you get a 30 egg. I don't know if they have 30 egg cases. Maybe that would be the case if you get like 2 servings of 30 eggs.
Alright, so just about like 5 seconds.
Are you constipated? No, I actually pooped before today's stream.
Ago, I was
in part why I was late.
Scrolling through Instagram right here on this bed, actually. And while I was scrolling, I came across probably the wildest story I have read this year. Now, based off the title of this video, you can probably tell what we're talking about. We're talking about absurdly weird, horny men on the internet. But listen, okay, when it comes to streamers and OnlyFans models and how much they make, I'm kind of like desensitized to it, okay? Like, we already know that OnlyFans models make a copious amount of money off extremely lonely men, but these 2 stories actually caught my attention because
that doesn't shock me as much as the individual people that spend the most. Like, Sophie Rain makes, probably like $30 million a year. But of that amount, like 1/5 of it comes from like 30 people. Like, she has fans that give her hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I don't understand that. And not even on the level of like, why would you spend that amount of money? But also, how much money does that guy have where they deem it worth it to be like interacting with an OnlyFans model hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? She makes $4 million a month. She makes $4 million a month. So she makes $48 million a year.
They are like, they're wild. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know how to introduce this. I guess we'll just dive right in. Pretty much, there's a guy in China by the name of Hong who is egregiously horny. And listen, when I say that, I genuinely mean it, okay? I have never seen anything like this before. This kid takes being horny to new levels. He's like the degenerate horny version of Kobe Bryant. He's obsessed with the game. Now listen, okay, it is totally fine to be horny, okay? As a human, we all have our needs. But this motherfucker has crossed the line, okay? He does not know when to call it quits. He has entered the stage of unethical horniness. Now listen, when it comes to unethical horniness, there are plenty of different forms, alright? You got cheating, grooming, prostitution, the non-consensual version of sex. And then you got what this guy did, which I wouldn't necessarily say is the worst, but it's still really sad. Pretty much, a guy in China by the name of Hong spent over $500,000 donating to a single Twitch streamer. Now, if you're anything
hopes she will call to a Twitch streamer, not even on like OF. 550K, hopes she will call him brother. Oh my God. See, here's the weird thing too, is getting this amount of, like, imagine being that woman. You would be happy as fuck, right? That you're getting $500,000, but there has to be like a worm in your brain that's like, this is unsafe. This is unsafe. This is unsafe. This is unsafe. For this guy to be giving me this amount of money, he has to be genuinely obsessed with me. Yeah, like the Robert F. Kennedy worm in your brain, bro. That shit has to be eating you alive. If I had a chatter give me $500,000, I would be like worried. Like, if you're willing to spend that amount of money on someone, you have to be obsessed with them. Drug money, bro, I ain't worried about that. That don't matter how they got the money, right? Because at that point, that's Twitch's problem. Whatever Twitch streamer got this money from this guy, if he got this money illegally, she's still in the clear.
Now, if you're anything like me, you probably thought, damn, this motherfucker is breaded. But then you find out that he actually just drained his family's entire life.
Oh, I thought he was going to be like a Chinese billionaire. He developed an obsession with online live streaming, began funneling money into supporting a particular female anchor whose identity remains undisclosed. Bro, I would at least have, I would feel like obligated if this motherfucker drained $500,000, I would feel like obligated to try and figure out a way that I could refund that money. If all of their whole family's savings
over $200,000 to
ruined his family's life so he could get one compliment from a streamer.
be specific. It's just like, dude, what? Like, what the f is
You could buy 847 PS5s. Thanks for the math there. That really puts it in perspective. I didn't understand how much $500,000 was, Salmon.
the streamer really that good? Like, how the f do you steal from your family, let alone give it to a goddamn streamer? You know? Like, this guy is like the horny, f***ed up version of Robin Hood. Like, really think about this, bro. This isn't some billionaire who just had $500K to blow on some hot girl. Okay, this is a dude who's probably unemployed, let's be honest, stealing from his family's life savings to donate it all to some stranger on the internet who doesn't know he exists, motherfucker. How did he even get...
And do you think he did it in increments, or was he just dropping like bomb donos? Do you think he was dropping like $10,000, $10,000, $10,000? Or do you think it was like over the course of 4 years, he was just giving $100, $100, $100 until it added up? Bombs. Actual nukes. Just fucking boom, 20 grand.
the life savings from his parents? And the craziest part is the motherfucker didn't even want to meet her, okay? I mean, let's be honest here, he's probably afraid of all women in general, but like, what events in your life have to take place for you to get to this point where you're willing to spend $500,000 for a random person on the internet to call you bro? Like what? What? This story makes no f***ing sense. Like, up until this point, I thought this motherfucker goddamn Hong, I thought he was trying to crack. I thought he was trying to get...
Bro, he probably could have given her like $5 and she would have called him brother. I just say the word brother. Like, I'll read a chatter's chat and just go, yeah, brother. That's not even like a sexual thing. That's just calling somebody brother. You don't have to give somebody $500,000 to get them to call you brother.
Get some pussy. No, motherfucker. He just wants her to acknowledge him. Like what? Now, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it does. Because like I said before, this motherfucker drained his entire family savings to donate to a random Twitch streamer, which was about $200K. But once his family said, hey, we're not gonna let you donate all of our life savings to a stranger, he resorts to theft. Okay, the motherfucker starts stealing shit, which is just crazy because this is like drug addict behavior. Like, what are you doing out here stealing shit?
Wait, okay, number one, I also have to bring this up. How did his bank not flag this? I understand if you have like a large amount of money, it might not immediately go like, hey, this is a problem. Once your bank gets notified that you're giving $30,000 in increments to a fucking Twitch website, they're probably gonna go, this has to be fake. Like, he had to go through loopholes and phone calls to make that happen. And now he's, what, stealing stuff to make money to give to her? That sounds like, that one clip from Sexy Red.
The most romantic thing somebody did for me, it was my first boyfriend. I was just in high school. He was a little older than me. And it was Valentine's Day. I'll never forget. He robbed somebody and gave me the money and gave me the bill he stole. And it was just so sweet because he was out of breath and stuff. He's like, here, I just got this for you. I was like, oh, so sweet. Thank you. Because nobody never did nothing like that for me. He stole for me. So I'm like, oh, you did that for me, really?
Bro, I don't understand how that's perceivably romantic, though. I could maybe be like, oh, yeah, thanks for the money. But like you'd be like, dude, you just robbed someone and gave me the money. I wouldn't want to take that.
He's literally the Gooner Robin Hood. Like, this motherfucker can't stop. He can't stop giving this random streamer a copious amount of money. Like, I genuinely think that this is like a drug to him. He's literally addicted. Especially when you find out that he stole over $300,000! He would literally steal...
From what? And he didn't get caught? He got 40 thefts of $300K? What the fuck would you steal?
Dollars! He would literally steal a bunch of copper and sell it.
Oh my god, he would be doing the copper tubing side hustle. Just fucking Bro, how did he make that much money? He routinely pilfered copper during these deliveries and sold it to waste recycling for cash. Because he worked in the hardware trade, he started stealing copper materials during deliveries. Oh, I was gonna say, how would you obtain that much copper? Continued until October 15th when the factory reported a significant quantity of missing copper. It took them that long to figure out that they had $300,000 in lost copper.
To a third-party source. Okay, this guy was stealing fucking mats. Now listen, okay, if you're anything like me, you probably heard 300K and you're like, damn, this guy might be a terrible human, but $300K, that's a lot of goddamn money. Dude's a pretty good thief. At least he's good at...
How much copper is that? Dude, copper's expensive, but not that expensive. How much is a pound of copper worth? $4.71 per pound. So let's do some math here. He stole $300,000 worth of copper, but he's probably not selling it for $4.71. So let's just say he's selling it for like $4. Round even, he stole 75,000 pounds of copper. Like, what is that visual? That's like multiple school buses.
But that's not the case either, because the copper he stole was from his family business, which he worked at. Okay, this motherfucker kept stealing from his own family. And this entire situation is just so fascinating to me. Okay, this guy is so fucking horny, he is committing crimes. Okay, he is unethically horny. And I guess he's also just a fiend, because he could have called it.
Why did the Twitch streamer, do you think the Twitch streamer knew he was doing this? Or do you think that, like, she was just getting those donos? Because if this if I had somebody in my chat be like, yeah, I stole to send you this, I would probably block them.
Like, quits at like $500. He could have called it quits at $10K. He could have called it.
Nah, he probably said he was rich. Because at some point, she would probably ask, like, how do you have this much money?
Quits at $50K. Motherfucker, $100K. But no, $500,000 goddamn dollars. Like, what the f is this guy doing? Like, can you imagine the post-nut clarity after you drop 500 bans on a streamer? As a matter of fact, imagine the post-nut clarity after you just sold $100K worth of copper that you stole from your family. Like, Jesus.
And at that point, bro, you're also thinking, like, you steal $300,000 in copper from your family, they don't notice. Why not, like, invest that money? Try and somehow turn that into, like, you know, like, lifelong wealth. Not like, let me send this to Amaranth or something.
Now, if we're being totally honest, this guy's definitely mentally ill. Like, who the fuck are we kidding?
Oh, yeah, no, he needs to get help.
You know, I called this guy horny a lot in this video, and I definitely do think that's a factor in his actions, but if we're being honest, it's more of like a parasocial relationship type deal, or a loneliness.
Parasocial beyond that, dude. I've had parasocial chatters, and there are people that are obsessive and, like, creepy, but that's another level, dude. For you to be that obsessed, that's not even parasocial, bro, because parasocial is like you thinking that they're your friend, you have some sort of weird attachment to them, like you know them. You wouldn't act like that with your friend. That's, like, even worse.
Like, I don't know too much about this Hong guy from China, but I'm gonna assume he has no friends. I'm gonna assume he doesn't have any female companions. But I also don't think that's enough to mentally ill. Combine that with all the fucking lonely he deals with. Boom, his way out of it, I guess, is to give this streamer all of his family's money. For some reason. I also think that he's mentally ill because the guy knows how to steal copper. Okay, he's not a dumbass. Actually, to be honest, I have no idea if that's, like, hard to do or not, but regardless, the guy stole over $300,000, okay? He did something right. He's not fucking slow. So I can't help but to wonder, like, did this guy ever think about using this money for anything else? Like, $500,000 is a lot of money. He could have done a lot of good things with that. He could have donated it to, you know, extinct animals or orphans with no arms or limbs, but no, he gave it to a goddamn Twitch streamer. Forget donating it, the motherfucker could have traveled the world. He could have experienced things, met people, maybe found a girlfriend, a real life one that knows he exists. Also, what's good with the streamer, bro? They never mentioned her name in the article, probably for, like, safety reasons or some shit, but is she gonna keep the money?
Yo, literally, though, I think it's different. I'm not saying that she's obligated to give all that money back, and there obviously is, like, taxation problems where it's like, now she's gonna get taxed on that money, so how does she refund it? But if I knew, if you're getting $500,000 from some, like, whale, right, that has billions of dollars, and he just wants to blow his money on somebody he finds hot, whatever. Right, keep the money. But if it's like you end up finding out that this dude blew $500,000 and literally, like, drove his family into poverty, I would be like, dude,
like, hello?
You gotta try and be like, yeah, here's the money.
Like,
here's the money back to someone.
She technically earned it totally legally and not ethically, if we're being honest.
Legally, it is her money.
But she did get it legally. But dude, that kid bankrupted his fucking family. Like, can you imagine being that girl? Like, I wouldn't be like, I couldn't live with that on my conscience. Like, yeah, it's a $500,000, but this kid was stealing copper from his family. All right, he was taking mats. He was playing real life Fortnite, and you got it selling your body. That's already an L. So it's like, dude, come on now. Like shit. I don't think I could live with that, honestly. And I'd be like, honestly, I think this. I don't know if this streamer would be a good person or not if she kept the money. I think it's really just up to her and how she can live with that. But like, you're just kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to judge her because like $500,000 is a lot of fuck. You know, $500,000 is $500,000. But it's like,
oh yeah, you would want to keep the money, but then you're battling like, am I an asshole for it?
damn, bro, like that's so sad. Like, goddamn, Jesus Christ, Hong, motherfucker's name is Hong too, bro. What a goddamn loser. Hong from China, bankrupting his family, over 40 thefts. Look at this shit. Ew. Oh my god. I wish I had a face on him. I bet he's overweight. What am I saying? If you're overweight and you're watching this, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. But, yeah, that's the first story, I guess. Hong from China, goddamn bankrupting his family, saying in the comments. Downfall of the male race. That's what people have been saying in the comments. Dude, like, whatever. All right, that's the first story. On the next one. Alright, so for this next segment, we're talking about another OnlyFans model, Sophie Rain. If you don't recognize her or know who this is, good for you, honestly. Round of applause. You have somehow managed to avoid all of, like, the bullshit.
How did Sophie Rain even blow up? I feel like, I don't want to say she's an industry plant because I hate when people use that term and I don't think it's real, but I feel like I can't remember when Sophie Rain got popular. I know she did OnlyFans chat. I'm saying, like, when did she get popular? Like, I can't even in my mind be like, yeah, when did she, the Spider-Man videos?
Shit, brain rot advertisements she does. She's always doing some clickbait shit on Twitter, like, oh, me or the PS4, and she's in some Spider-Man costume, then you go in the replies and she's getting, like, throated and like tossed around like a goddamn thing.
Oh my god, bro. Holy shit. Yo, somebody said me or the PS4. Yo, the funniest shit I see is when they have okay, I feel bad about this, but I laugh when I see it in the comments. GTA 6, like, trailer on TikTok, and somebody in the comments or, like, under the YouTube video is like, please tell me this is coming to the Xbox 360. And I'm like, are you delusional? Are you crazy? Somebody in the comments of a GTA 6 trailer going, bro, tell me this is coming to the PS3. What? The Xbox 360, the PS3? Well, are you? No, it is not coming to that shit. And then, like, it maybe Xbox One, PS4, but even then, when people are like, bro, tell me this coming to the PS4. No, it's not. That shit'll be on new gen consoles, and that's it. Not even the Switch. I don't even think it's coming out on PC initially.
Either way, my whole point being is that this girl is basically just an OnlyFans model who, like, it does a lot of, like, marketing, like a lot of social media marketing. And Sophie Rain posted how much she made from OnlyFans this year, and she made $40 million. Now, to put that into perspective, that is a NBA Supermax contract. Okay, Giannis Antetokounmpo is making, like, damn near the same amount as this chick. Sophie Rain is making more than just about every single NFL player, okay? Besides the quarterbacks, all right, maybe.
I don't know. I think that's a bad comparison because at the same time, you can argue that athletes are overpaid. Not every athlete, but, like, I don't know. Obviously, they're worth that value because they bring in that amount of people. But to say that because you're really good at basketball, you should make $85 million is, like, you know, it's the same level of absurd. You know what I mean? Like, it's more, it's less perceived as, you know, bad because people fuck with sports and they love watching sports and they love Nikola Jokic, right? And shit like that. So it's different. But in the same sense, like, you got to be like, this guy's making an obscene amount of money.
GM's head coach.
Are streamers overpaid? Yes.
She's making more than just about everyone else. Now, I think we can all agree that OnlyFans is not exactly the most respectable profession, but I do respect the fucking hustle, okay? You know, making $40 million in a span of 1 year is not easy. Okay, that is very, very impressive regardless of how you do it. No.
Bro's ungrateful. That's the opposite of ungrateful. It would be ungrateful if I said I was underpaid. You know what I mean? Like, that's entirely different. I think YouTubers' salary is different because I think YouTubers make a shitload of money, but it's still a fair 50-50 share, rev share. Twitch is the same thing, but I don't know. Why? I think Twitch streamers are overpaid in the sense of, like, just the amount of money they make for the work that they output. Like, how, like, the job isn't easy, but it's like you're making way more than people do that are, you know, grinding 9 to 5s in a union at an electrical job or plumbing or whatever they're doing, right? At an office job. So I don't know. In that sense, I would say it's overpaid.
Oh, let me take that back. If you did it in a up way, that's not okay. Either way, you know what I'm saying? 40 million is just a shit ton of money.
Thing is, people choose to pay for it, and ads are paid for by companies, so it's hard to determine where the money taken goes. That's what I'm saying. Like, I could sit here and say I'm overpaid, but at the same time, it's valued accurately, right? Because if it's overpaid, companies wouldn't be paying Twitch streamers the amount that they're paying because they wouldn't be getting that money back. The same thing with YouTube. YouTubers, like top tier YouTubers, make tens of millions of dollars a year, right? Like Mr. Beast and fucking Sidemen channel and all those guys that are pulling, 5 million views per video. They're making so much money, but they're definitely valued in that sense because the ad companies wouldn't be paying that premium if it wasn't getting them that money back.
And even if she did it, like selling her body, I gotta kind of like